Have you ever been on a flight so calm that it felt like nothing could possibly go wrong? That soft hum of the engines, the gentle clouds passing beneath, the chatter of passengers who all believed they were safe. Until, in a single heartbeat, everything changed. This is the story of a teenage girl who was sitting quietly in row 9, scrolling through songs on her phone, when the unthinkable happened. The pilot slumped forward, the plane began to dive. Alarm screamed. And in that chaos, she made a choice that would change her life forever. Stay with me till the end, because when you hear what she did next, you'll understand why the entire aviation world still talks about the girl from row 9. And before we begin, you're watching Grow for Justice, a place where stories of courage, truth, and humanity come alive. That if you love real, powerful storytelling, don't forget to subscribe right now. And tell us where you're watching from in the comments below. It was a bright Saturday morning in late June. The airstrip in northern Idaho shimmered in the summer heat, and a small Cessna 208 Caravan sat gleaming under the rising sun. Among the 6 passengers boarding that day was 17-year-old Hannah Brooks, just another teenager heading home after visiting her aunt for the weekend. She carried a small backpack, a camera around her neck, and the nervous excitement that comes with flying in a small plane for the first time. The pilot, Captain Roger Hall, was a kind, middle-aged man with years of flight experience. "You ever flown on a Cessna before?" he asked her as she stepped up the stairs. "First time," Hannah smiled nervously. "Feels small." Roger chuckled. "Don't worry, kiddo. These birds are tougher than they look." As the passengers buckled in, the plane roared to life. Through the window, pine-covered mountains stretched endlessly, and rivers glistened below like silver ribbons. Everything was peaceful. The plane climbed to 9,000 feet, slicing through the clouds. Row 9 wasn't a real row, not in a tiny Cessna, but Hannah had picked the 9th seat, just behind the pilot's cabin. From there, she could see the sky ahead, the dials glowing, the horizon perfectly level. She felt safe. She felt wonder, until the silence came that it started with a cough. Not from Hannah, but from the pilot. Roger cleared his throat once, then again, rubbing his chest. Hannah noticed it. She leaned forward slightly. "You okay up there?" she asked with a nervous laugh that he waved her off. "Yeah, just," he didn't finish. His hand fell away from the throttle, his body slumping forward, T first. Hannah thought he was joking, maybe just stretching. But then the plane tilted sharply to the left. The passengers screamed. The horizon vanished from the windows. Gravity pulled everyone sideways as alarms started wailing. The sound of the stall warning filled the cabin. "Roger," she shouted. No answer. The plane dropped violently. Her stomach lurched as if the earth had reached up to grab her. Loose bags floated for a second before slamming to the floor. Panic erupted that a businessman in the front yelled, "What's happening?" A woman clutched her child and screamed, "We're going down." Hannah's hand shook, but she pushed herself forward, crawling toward the cockpit. She saw the pilot's face, pale, lips blue, eyes rolled back. He wasn't breathing. The controls jerked violently. The altimeter spun downward. The Cessna was in a full dive. Every instinct told her to cry, to scream, to give up. But something inside her snapped, like a switch from fear to focus. She remembered her dad's voice from years ago. He used to take her to the local air museum. "If you ever sit in a cockpit," he'd said, "remember, planes want to fly. If you keep them steady, they'll listen to you." Her fingers found the pilot's headset. She slipped it on, heart hammering. Her voice trembled as she pressed the mic switch. "Mayday, mayday, mayday. This is a Cessna 208 Caravan. The pilot is unconscious. We are in a dive. I need help." For a terrifying few seconds, only static replied. Then a calm voice broke through. "Cessna 208. This is Air Traffic Control Spokane. Copy Mayday. Identify yourself." I'm Hannah Brooks. I'm just a passenger." The pilot collapsed. "I think he's having a heart attack. The plane is going down." "Okay, Hannah, Listen to me carefully. You're going to be fine. We're going to do this together." Her trembling hands found the yoke. She pulled gently. The plane shuddered, groaned, and then, slowly, stopped falling. "Good, good," the controller's voice soothed. "You're doing great, Hannah. Keep the nose up just a little. What's your altitude?" Hannah glanced at the gauge. 5,000 dropping. "You're okay. We've got you. Just breathe." The passengers behind her were crying, praying, whispering. But all Hannah could hear was the sound of her own breathing in the headset and the voice of the man who had just become her lifeline. "Okay, Hannah," the voice said. "I'm Mark, your controller. I need you to find the throttle. It's the black lever on the center panel. Hold it steady." She nodded, eyes darting between instruments. "I've got it. Good. Now look at your artificial horizon. Keep the blue and brown split level. You're flying the plane now." Her entire body shook. Sweat dripped from her forehead. She could barely feel her fingers, but she focused on the instrument panel. "I can't. I don't know what I'm doing," she cried. "Yes, you can," Mark replied. "You're doing it right now. You're flying, Hannah." Minutes passed like hours. Mark guided her step by step. How to level the wings, how to adjust pitch, how to communicate with nearby aircraft. Other pilots began circling nearby, offering visual support. One voice came through the radio. "We've got eyes on the Cessna. She's holding steady." "She's only 17, Mark said softly. The other pilot whistled. "She's doing better than half the rookies." But the storm came. Clouds thickened. Lightning flashed in the distance. The wind tossed the small plane like a leaf in a current. "Hannah, we're seeing a weather front ahead," Mark warned. "You're going to need to descend below the clouds." Her heart skipped. "Descend? How?" "Pull the throttle slightly back. Yes, slowly. Now push the yoke forward just a bit. Keep your wings level. Don't fight the wind. Guide through it." The Cessna bucked, but obeyed. Passengers gasped as lightning streaked across the sky. The woman with the child whispered, "Please, God, help her." The girl in row 9, who hours ago was worried about exams, prom, and friends, was now keeping 6 lives aloft between storm and earth. "Hannah," Mark said after what felt like forever, "you're about 15 miles from the nearest airfield, Sandpoint Regional. You're going to land there." Her breath caught. "Land? Yes. I'll walk you through every step. I promise." Her pulse thundered in her ears. You've got this." She could see the runway lights flickering in the distance, blurred by tears and rain. "Okay, Hannah, lower your flaps halfway." Which one's that?" "Switch marked flaps on your left. Move it 1 notch." She obeyed. The plane's nose tilted slightly as speed decreased. "Now reduce throttle to 1,500 revolutions per minute." Her shaking hand moved the lever. "Good. You're descending perfectly. Keep your nose down just a bit." "I'm scared," she whispered. "I know. But fear means you understand what's at stake. It doesn't mean you can't finish this." As the runway loomed larger, her mind flooded with images. Her mother, her father's old stories about courage. Her friends back home who would never believe this. "Okay, Hannah, you're lined up perfectly. Just a few more feet. Gently, ease back on the yoke." The ground rushed up beneath her. The wheels screeched. The Cessna bounced once, then twice, before settling on the runway. "You did it." Mark's voice cracked with emotion. "You did it, Hannah. You're safe." For a second, no one in the plane spoke. Then cheers erupted. The passengers shouted, cried, hugged one another. The co-pilot of a nearby rescue plane said softly, "The girl in row 9 just became a legend." Hannah pulled off the headset and finally let the tears fall. Her hands still gripped the controls, refusing to believe she had actually brought the aircraft down. When rescue teams arrived minutes later, they found the pilot alive but unconscious, his heart still beating. Hannah stepped out into the sunlight, trembling but smiling. Reporters would later ask her how she managed to stay calm. She'd answer simply, "I didn't. I just did what I had to do." Within hours, her name was all over national news. Teenager lands plane after pilot collapses. The aviation world called it a miracle. Experienced pilots called it instinct guided by courage. But Hannah refused to see herself as a hero. "I didn't save lives," she told reporters. "We all saved each other. The people on that plane prayed for me, believed in me. I just did the flying." Weeks later, she received a letter. It was handwritten from Air Traffic Control Spokane. Inside was a single line from Mark. "If you ever want to become a pilot, the skies will be waiting for you, Hannah." And she did. 2 years later, she earned her pilot's license, flying a Cessna, the same kind of plane she once landed to save 6 lives. And that, my friends, is the unbelievable story of the girl in row 9. Proof that courage doesn't ask for age, experience, or permission. It shows up when the world needs it most. You just watched this story on Grow for Justice, where we share moments that define humanity's best side: bravery, compassion, and truth. If this story gave you chills or tears, make sure to subscribe to Grow for Justice. Hit the bell icon so you never miss a new upload, and tell us in the comments, where in the world are you watching from? Because no matter where you are, stories like this remind us heroes can come from anywhere, even row 9.